Hello and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4. I am Lord Forwind, here playing as the Kingdom of the Netherlands under Wilhelmina. We're doing pretty good. We're doing good. The rest of the allies are struggling, or whatever. The side opposing the Axis and Japan, the Soviets are going to fall pretty soon, I suspect. China is somehow hanging out. Holding out versus the everybody else's against Japan. They're doing a pretty good job. I mean, they could be doing much better. They are slowly getting driven back, but they're gonna get in. They're not falling, so there is that. So anyway, let's jump into this. Probably not going to talk too much, really, because at this point it's rather just a matter of combat rather than strategy. We've regained this region, and it's now the push into Egypt is going to begin. And luckily, the Germans don't seem to have deployed any troops, so it's pretty much just versus the Italians, and that is a war we can win. The Germans still have 2 million manpower they can lose, but everybody else is really starting to feel the pain. The British are running out of manpower. Americans still have a lot, though. And the Soviets are going to fall soon, so it doesn't make too much difference. The horrifying fact is now Germany will gain access to all the Soviet factories and annihilate us. Oh, well, we'll see. I could still lose this. I could still win this. It's a rough balance. The only thing we got is the Americans, really, on as an advantage. But even they can't compete with the Germans in terms of productivity. Anyway, here we go. This expedition right here is totally doomed because they're not actually bothering to take a port. And this is another huge American division that is just going to get wiped out. You'd think they'd learn at this point. Don't send tons of troops to Europe if they're just going to die. Alas, there's nothing I can do to stop them. All I can do is just try and build up my armies and generals. I'd like to say China is doing a good job, but seeing how Japan is winning pretty much everywhere else in the war, it's tough to say they're actually going to be doing a good job. Our fleet has re-entered the battle now that I've changed its fighting stance, so maybe it'll actually do stuff now. But I have some severe doubts that it's actually going to accomplish much. Considering they can't even stop the Japan from invading China at this point. Too many landings, too many invasions. All these islands have fallen to Japan. It's really sad. Curious as to how Mexico's doing, because they do have a fair amount of manpower and they are deploying them. Huh? They're doing stuff. Democratic Mexico, they're contributing. I'm impressed. They've also managed to gain control over their oil reserves. So there is that. Oh, so the British want to give me more troops. I'll take more troops. Oh, again, and they keep giving to me in England, which means I have to ship them all the way across Africa. Oh well. Look at this, though. Progress is definitely being made. The Italians are being driven back in defeat. My troops are totally unsupplied, but apparently that's enough to win. Overall, it looks like my navy cutting off the Japanese here is allowing the Allies to counterattack to some degree. So maybe things are going to go well. Maybe things will recover. China especially is finally actually getting some half-decent troops on the field, so that's good news. I'm still completely baffled how the Allies can't eliminate this area of the game from being invaded, but maybe once I kick Italy and Vichy France out of North Africa, I'll return to help. Because it seems to be that my troops are the vast majority of those fighting in East Africa, so. And they are pretty well acclimated to hut regions. So there is that. Actually, one thing I should do, and I haven't done yet, is I should really try and get... I should really try and, if I could, which I can't because I can't actually mod this division, which sucks, is I would like to get some hospitals, field hospitals and stuff, so I get some trickle back of manpower, but considering I have, I think, one full actual division deployed, it's not going to make much difference. Yeah. I'll throw a recon company and a support artillery in though, so at least it does something. The problem is truly manpower. Everything else we're fine on, but no manpower, not much I can do. 500 a week manpower is the only reason we still can even fight. Look at this, Germans are making a breakout again. Isn't that amazing? Only thing we can say is at least the Germans are losing troops on those breakouts. This is funny. There's the British division, no organization but fully supplied, and then there's the Dutch division, high organization but no supply. Very interesting. Well, some of the Japanese landings are being stopped when they appear, but China really just cannot push forward. It's really sad. We'll also note that there's a random Italian province up here. I guess they did a naval invasion around and through the Arctic and Baltic seas and nobody stopped them. It's a little bit sad. Oh, well, they're putting up a little bit of a push against the Italians here. It's failing horribly, but it's nice to see that the Allies are not completely neglecting Africa. I love Mongolia here. 23 divisions, 13 factories, 0 casualties. It tells you if they've been fighting or not. We've really been duking out with Italy. It's almost an even fight. And the question now becomes, do we want to build a nuclear reactor, and where do we want to build it in 17 days? Maybe the war will only end once we get nuclear bombs. That would be weird. I think I'm going to change this battle plan to carefully execute, because right now every one we lose just causes trouble for us. We don't make any progress. The other option, and it's one I'm considering, is maybe I should try and like foment a coup in the German or Italian states, try and cause a uprising, weaken them that way. We have the guns to stage a coup, so it might be worth it. The problem, yeah, we can stage a democratic coup, which would be interesting. Let's try it. We'll try staging a coup in Italy. We have such an excess of infantry equipment, we can afford this. Everyone else is way too unified. Everyone else is pretty much 100% fascist. The fact of the matter is, if we had stayed democratic, I could be boosting ideologies, but wanted to try playing as the Queen. At least the Dutch East Indies is not entirely useless. They still have some land, even though they have no troops. And then there's the Americans ignoring all these islands, really, just to try and attack the Japanese and failing. You think they'd figure out their convoys are getting eliminated? Also, what is going on down here? It's like everybody's armies just left. It's like the British and the French armies just up and left China. Weird. Okay, let's try building a nuclear reactor somewhere. Oh, we can't. We don't have enough space. Darn. Well, that'll have to wait then. We will research nuclear bombs, though. Hey, at least we're exporting a fair amount of our, we're exporting a good amount of aluminum, and we're exporting a good amount of oil now. So there at least is that. Also, Liberia has been liberated, but I think it still leaves them as a capitulated nation, right? Nope, they've not. They've uncapitulated now. Nice. And then there's the rest of the Muslim world, or pretty much the only bit of the Muslim world that really matters in this game, that is not doing anything. They're just watching. Because all this is Muslim. A good portion of this is Muslim, but it's owned by the European powers. They're just watching in confusion to this world war. Although I think at least Turkey had volunteers out for a while. They seem to have stopped. Maybe their divisions died. Everybody else they're just all guaranteeing each other. It's interesting. Oh, here we go. Another useless American invasion of Spain. Someday in the future this will succeed, but not today is not today. So many modifiers on the US. Hey, look at this though. Spain is slowly running out of manpower. Soviets are going to capitulate soon. They can't hold out, which is a shame. You'd think with all their troops they could do something, but so many of their troops are still devoted to containing Japan, which makes no sense at all. Plus they have to supply these guys who suffer some attrition in the winter, and it's dumb. At least British Malaya was reoccupied. Singapore and all that. Maybe they'll actually get divisions on the field again. I'm rather disappointed the Allies are not reoccupying this land. It's pretty good land. But I guess the war in the Philippines must take precedence because Japan has decided the Philippines are gonna fall. Look at that. And my ships are just sitting here. What? Nope. What? No mission set. Convoy rating. There and there, please. No idea what was going on there. My fleet is proving to be very useless, I have to say. Although it would appear that my fleet is capable of taking on Japan. It doesn't look like it's going to help much, but maybe now by shifting the rating up there they can delay, I don't know, delay something. The other option, and I haven't considered it yet, is to find wherever my task force is. Again, where'd they run off to now? The other option is to use them and just mine lay this entire location. Naval invasion, naval speed, accident. Yeah. They're repairing. I think we will extend the convoy raiding area. Oh shoot, nope. Okay. Once they're unrepairing, we might. I think I'll try and extend it up to the East China Sea. Maybe that can help Japan, China a little bit. Come on, China. Still only 34 divisions. That's so bad. If I could find a way to transport supplies to them, I could supply their whole army, but can't do anything. Speaking of other things, let's see how my coup in Italy is going. June of next year, so a whole year to go. I mean, the coup is going to get annihilated, but it might weaken Italy a little. At least it should force them to pull some of their troops out of Africa. Speaking on other news, let's change into a slightly more aggressive battle plan stance. Since we're clearly winning this fight. Goal being retake the Suez Canal. According to this, we've actually contributed about as much to the war as Free France has in terms of score, even though we've lost a third less troops. Oh, progress is being made down there. That's nice to see. Might be worth trying to get one aircraft carrier on the field at some point so I can deploy all my planes, which I have in reserve. Can't really deploy them anywhere, unfortunately. Unless I could send them to China. No, I can't. It's annoying. I'm impressed the Soviets are hanging on this long. They've lost 13 million troops. And they've only inflicted 4 million on the Germans. That is a horrible, horrible ratio. Absolutely horrendous. They are down to scraping the barrel though, so they're gonna fall. But at least they've got troops on the field. Really, to be honest, the only place the war is going in our favor is where I am in East Africa. Everywhere else we're failing. And we're only going to survive in East Africa till the Germans arrive, and then we're going to lose again. I'm just going to use this one troop here to try and push in, outflank them, because it's virtually a useless division anyway. I'm also going to have to redeploy my army orders, because I've already honestly walked past my army order area. On the other hand, it looks like we finally finished off the Italians in the region to some degree. Okay, we're using the British to break the strong points, and then we occupy everything else on our own. It's nice to see that we actually can win a fight sometimes. Also, the UK is finally wiping out the Vichy colonies. I have to say, I'm impressed China's holding out. The war is dragging on, but they are holding out. Oh, they're now up to 85 divisions. What? They must have been lent some by some of these guys, I'm gonna guess. Otherwise, they just went on a huge construction spree of troops. If so, good for them, because we needed those troops on the field. Anyway, that will be it for this episode. And next time we will hopefully retake Cairo and push into Syria and then west along the coast. Africa has mostly been recaptured. Europe is not going well, and the Soviets will definitely surrender soon. So we'll see how that all goes next time. Bye for now.